Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. First of all, I just want to say thank you. We've reached 1,000 subscribers and it truly means a lot to me. Over the past few months, I've taken a break from posting videos and I'm so sorry about that. But I wasn't just resting. I've been studying Shogi more deeply, especially opening strategies with AI. And today, I'm excited to share one of the best openings for Shogi players of all levels, KKS. No matter your skill level, this video is for you. For beginners, if you are new to Shogi and don't know which opening to learn first, this is a great place to start. For intermediate and advanced players, if you already have some knowledge of openings but want a stronger strategy or just to expand your understanding of KKS, this video will help. To make things clear, we'll go through three main sections. First, opening basics. A quick overview of what an opening is and what a castle is in Shogi. Second, about KKS. We'll start from what KKS is and explain the key moves, why it's strong, and how it compares to other opening. Lastly, conclusion. Alright, let's get started. Before we get into KKS, let's quickly go over the basics of the opening. The opening is the first stage of the game where you develop your pieces and prepare your attack and defense. In Shogi, a strong defense is essential and players build castles to protect their king. Here are two common castles, Mino Castle and Anaguma Castle. I'll cover castles in more detail in another video. A good opening sets you up for success in the middle game, so learning openings is one of the most important steps in improving at Shogi. Shogi openings are divided into two main strategies, static rook or ibisha and ranging rook or furibisha. The key difference is the rook's position. The opening is categorized based on where the rook moves, and each style leads to very different strategies. In static rook, the rook stays in its original position. Many top players prefer it because it allows for highly developed and complex strategies. There are countless variations of static rook, and recent AI research has made it much more complex. In ranging rook, the rook moves to the side early in the game. Ranging rook is further divided into four types: central rook, fourth file rook, third file rook, and opposing rook. For example, in fourth file rook, also known as shikembisha, the rook moves to the fourth file from the left, giving it its name. Ranging rook often blocks the bishop's diagonal line, making it more defensive. AI tends to favor static rook over ranging rook, so it's less common in professional play. So what exactly is KKS and where does KKS fit in Shogi strategy? KKS stands for Kak Koukan Shikembisha, or Bishop Exchange Fourth File Rook. It's a type of ranging rook strategy, but unlike typical ranging rook, the bishop's diagonal remains open. This makes KKS more dynamic and aggressive, allowing you to take the initiative early in the game. There are three key steps to playing KKS effectively. First, trade bishops. Second, build the middle castle. And third, prepare for the attack. Now let's go through a real game I played to see how these steps work in practice. In this game, I played as Gote or white against a static rook opponent. For convenience, the board is reversed. Step 1. Trade bishops. First, I move my rook to the fourth file while keeping the bishop's diagonal open. Then I exchange bishops early. Why is this important? After my opponent recaptures the bishop, his silver moves up, blocking the king's escape route. This is known as wall silver, and KKS forces the opponent into this structure. Limiting the opponent's king mobility is one of the key advantages of KKS. Step 2. Build the middle castle. After the bishop exchange, I focus on castling to secure my king. At the same time, I develop my left silver to defend against my opponent's pawn push. This ensures that my second file remains well protected. But what if the opponent pushes pawn here instead of moving silver? Some players might worry about allowing a rook pawn exchange here, but don't worry. If my opponent pushes a pawn early, I can simply respond with a silver move. Even if he trades pawns, I have a strong bishop drop that targets both the opponent's rook and pawn, giving me an advantage. This is why the opponent prioritized developing silver, protecting the pawn. Whenever the opponent pushes their kingside edge pawn, you should push back. This is an important move because it creates an escape route for my king later. Also, if you push the edge pawn first and the opponent doesn't respond, you have the option to advance further and gain space. Step 3. Prepare for the attack. Here's something from my own research. I pushed the pawn on my rook's file earlier than usual. This is an uncommon setup in KKS, and I'll explain its secrets in a future video. After both sides continue developing, I complete my minnow castle. Then I move my rook to align with my opponent's rook, setting up a counterattack. Now I push my pawn forward as planned. This is known as reverse climbing silver, a powerful attacking method. Why is it called that? After a pawn exchange, I can advance my silver into the same file where my opponent's rook is. To stop this, my opponent jumps his knight forward. But here's the problem for the opponent. The knight's head is always a weakness in Shogi, so I immediately push my pawn to target the knight. If my opponent captures the pawn, I can drop another pawn directly on the knight's head, winning material. To avoid this, my opponent lifts his rook, but this still gives me an advantage. I then capture the pawn and drop my bishop to create a powerful horse. At this point, my attack is well underway and my plan has succeeded. Next, I can drop a pawn on the knight's head, putting even more pressure on my opponent. It's clear that I now have the upper hand. To master KKS, remember these 3 steps. First, trade bishops. Gain control of the board and limit your opponent's mobility. Second, build a minnow castle. Secure your king while preparing your pieces. Third, prepare for the attack. Push the key pawns, reposition your rook, and launch an aggressive offensive. By following these steps, you get a strong and stable position in your games. Now that you understand how to play KKS, let's explore why it's such a powerful strategy. KKS has 3 major strengths that make it effective. First, easy to learn. The general plan is straightforward. Exchange bishops, build minnow, and attack. While the basics are easy to grasp, the deeper strategic ideas allow for advanced play. Second, safe king. The minnow castle provides great defense while allowing quick attacks. Unlike static rook strategies, you don't have to spend too much time castling, so you can attack earlier. And third, clear attacking plan. Keeping the bishop's diagonal open makes it easier to launch a powerful offense. You can control the pace of the game and put immediate pressure on your opponent. You might be wondering, what makes KKS different from a normal first file rook? The biggest difference is whether the bishop's diagonal is open or closed. In normal first file rook, you close the diagonal yourself. This often gives the opponent more time to build a solid position. In many cases, your attack is slower and the opponent is more likely to take the initiative. In KKS, the diagonal remains open, which leads to a more dynamic and aggressive late game. You can immediately apply pressure and limit the opponent's choices, making it possible to take the initiative. Also, the early bishop exchange forces the opponent's silver to move up, creating the wall silver, which weakens his king's escape routes. Let's take a closer look at this in action. Case 1. If you play normal forced fire rook, one of the opponent's best countermeasures is right-hand forced fire rook. In this position, Gote builds an Anaguma castle, which is stronger than Sente's Mino. Since Sente has closed the bishop's diagonal, it's difficult to find a good attacking plan. Notice how Sente's left knight is not being used effectively. On the other hand, Gote can easily start an attack by jumping the knight or simply pushing the pawn. This is one of the biggest weaknesses of normal forced fire rook. Case 2. Now let's say you play KKS instead. The early bishop exchange forces wall silver, preventing Gote from castling into Anaguma. Since the bishops are already off the board, Sente can develop the left silver freely. This means that Sente has better control of 6-file, leading to a more balanced game. Even AI evaluations show that this position is much more equal compared to normal forced file rook. I'll cover how to gain an advantage from here in another video. To master KKS, remember these 3 steps. First, trade bishops. Gain control and disrupt the opponent's king's safety. Second, build a Mino castle. Secure your king while developing the left silver. Third, prepare for the attack. Push key pawns, reposition your rook, and strike. And here are the 3 main reasons why KKS is strong. First, easy to learn. Simple plans, but deep strategy. Second, safe king. Mino castle is strong and efficient. Third, clear attacking plan. The open diagonal creates early pressure. So that's the basics of KKS. This is just the first video in a series where I'll explore key strategies and advanced ideas in KKS. If you want to improve your opening and get better at Shogi, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever played KKS before? What's your favorite opening in Shogi? Or do you have any questions or feedbacks on this video? Alright, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.